We here at Miller Jordan have the faculty and staff that is prepared to offer a quality and safe education. Our educational staff, as well as our extracurriculars, provide our students with many real-world creative activities. Through our academics, community service, and leadership, we are ready to take on another safe and positive school year. So come join us as KMJM takes you through our camera lens and our halls here at Miller Jordan Middle School.
So I'm a consultant in the state of Texas, primarily in the Rio Grande Valley, 956, which is my heart. I do all kinds of work from bilingual, ESL, technology, sheltered instruction, parents, students, teachers, so everything. Well, the struggles were that I could really never make friends, because I lived in Mexico, and then I would have to travel to Texas, and then I would have to go back to Mexico. So if I had friends at school, I couldn't hang out with them, or do activities. I remember I always wanted to be a Girl Scout, but I couldn't because my mom couldn't take me to the meetings. We couldn't stay after school. We couldn't go on the weekends. So that's the part that I remember that I didn't like. Well, here's the thing. I want to say it's Krashen, a theorist. He says that in order for us to learn a second language, our affective filter has to be really low. Like, in order for me to learn a second language or really learn anything, I have to be in a good place. So if I'm anxious, for example, that when I get home, my parents are not going to be there, they're going to be deported. Or I'm anxious that we're not going to have a place to live tonight, So all of that affects learning. And so I think social emotional is such a big part of teaching, not only bilingual, but any student. Because, my doctoral research was on teacher perceptions of Mexican immigrant kids and border violence, right? So if this child has gone through horrific situations, they're going to be in your class, but they're going to be thinking about something else. Or something you say is going to trigger that moment, and then they're going to be living that moment again and again and again. So social emotional is a big part, of learning English, of learning really everything, not just a language. Yeah. I think for the most part, my experience having taught for 20 years in the bilingual world is that it just depends. I think for the longest time, bilingual education has been seen as a negative, as a deficit. Like, oh no, don't put your kids in bilingual, or oh, those are bilingual kids, or, even as a teacher, I would hear it, oh, you're bilingual, So as far as seeing it as a positive and something inclusive, I think other areas are, in Texas, do highlight it as a big deal. Like, it's dual language, you even get an award, you even get like a little pin. You graduate high school and it says that you're, dual language bilingual student. Like, there's this prestige. And that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be like, oh, I'm bilingual, I'm at another level. And I think that's why I whenever I have sessions for kids, you'll see that I have masks, right? And so I give kids masks and I tell them, the reason you have these masks is because you're superheroes. And then they get all excited. And I tell them, not that you're Batman or Superman or Robin or anything. It's because you're bilingual. So you're bilingual, you have superpowers. And then the best part is to see them look at each other like, oh my God, like nobody has told them what a gift that is to be bilingual. I want to say that we're getting better compared to where we were many years ago. Many years ago, nobody cared, it didn't matter. And now many districts here in our region are being very proactive, like promoting dual language, promoting language and culture. You see it with the mariachi students and the banda students. That's so empowering. So I think we're doing good, and we could always do better. And then of course you have some districts that do more for bilingual. There are some districts that go a little bit far and beyond. And I just hope it happens throughout the whole entire state. This is what I tell kids. And people always ask me, why do you wear all this stuff? Why do you... Because I'm very proud of myself, of my culture. I'm very proud of being Mexican and also, being American now. I became a citizen a long time ago. But be proud of who you are. If you want to speak Spanish and you can, do it. Promote it. Don't be embarrassed. I've been to schools where I ask kids, are you bilingual? And I'll have two of them raise their hand like this, like they're ashamed. It's like, why are you ashamed of a gift? Why are you ashamed of a superpower? But then again, that comes back to us as the adults. So to me, it's be proud of your language, be proud of your culture, use it to your benefit, use it to learn, show it off, share it with people. And for kids who are not bilingual, because I tell kids, you don't even have to speak Spanish. You can pick any language. Portuguese, like you were saying, Korean, go to YouTube. There's so many ways that you can learn 10 words. So I tell people, start with 10 words. Just so your brain can start picking up another language. And by the time you know it, you know 2, you know 3. So like I'm a very beginner in French because I took it in high school. So, I know a couple of words, but they're all connected, right? So be who you are, be proud of who you are, be proud of what you look like, and if you have an accent, be proud of your accent, and then just keep learning. I think one thing that I noticed is that as teachers, we need, first of all, to give value and validation to the language, to our Spanish language and our Spanish culture. Sometimes we see other people from other nationalities speaking Spanish and we're like, oh my God, he speaks Spanish and he's from Germany or whatever. But then our kids speak Spanish and it's like, whatever. So I think that in order to bridge that gap, there has to be validity. Like us as teachers, we have to evaluate and say it's amazing and it's the best. And then if we speak Spanish, we need to speak it so that other kids see it and they're like, oh, wow, my teacher says it's cool. So maybe it is cool to speak another language like Spanish.